Excited about the mini camp here. Also, really impressed with the Golden State Warriors, what they did last night, what they've done with the injuries and adversity that they face. It's been a blast to watch that, and continued success to them. But I'll answer any questions I can.
What's your attendance like for the mandatory camp?
Everybody's here. We'll have a couple guys that won't participate much this afternoon for various reasons, nothing serious. But we've had an unbelievable attendance in every day of our off-season program. This is just an exclamation point on that.
Jon, where do you feel like you're positioned now as opposed to like a year ago? The shape of the roster?
Well, we're a better team, on paper, and we're faster. We've collected some really good players, but we got a lot to prove, and time will tell.
You guys have talked up Darren Waller a lot in the offseason and kind of given him this big role. You never know kind of how a guy responds to that. From what we've seen, at least out there in practice, it looks like he's responding pretty well. We see him making plays all the time. What do you see out of a guy that's kind of been given an opportunity and seems to be taking advantage of it, at least so far?
Well, we said, I think last time we talked, that since he's been here, he's been one of our most impressive players. He played a key role last year when he got here, and got some big shoes to fill. I know he respects that, but he's versatile, he's smart, he's fast, he wants to do good, he's a great kid, and I'm impressed with Foster Moreau, our rookie tight end, as well. So we think the tight ends are a big part of our offense. Hopefully those two guys continue to get better.
You mentioned he does have big shoes to fill. How is he handling that? Is he a kid that doesn't really, is not a factor for him? He's focused on other things? Or
I think he's handling it well. I think you have to ask him. Right. Obviously, we're not getting ready for a game right now. When you put the pads on 3, 4, 5 days in a row up in Napa, I think that'll be a better indication. He's got a lot to prove. He's a young player who is a converted wide receiver. Don't forget that. He's not been brought up as a tight end, but he's made a lot of progress. And while you're talking about these tight ends, hopefully Frank Smith gets some credit. He's done an unbelievable job with our tight ends.
Ronnie Hudson graduated from business school last Friday, I believe.
He's graduated from Pass Protection U, Run Blocking State, and now he's got his master's in business. And that just certifies what kind of guy you're dealing with here. He's a great player on the field. He's one of our captains and true team leaders. He's as tough a guy as we have. I've seen him play with kidney stones and various ailments. And to get a master's degree is a huge accomplishment. And I compliment him till the day's end. He's special.
It's difficult not to. It'd be difficult to ignore the fact that he's going into the final year of his contract. Is he someone that you hope can be here long term? And has there been any work toward that end?
Well, I know Mike Mayock has talked to his agent. I don't want to get involved in the specifics of those conversations, but we consider him a big piece of this franchise, and we're going to do everything we can to keep him here for a long time.
Given who you've added at receiver, no matter who is at tight end, I mean, can you see that position even being more valuable now, given they're going to have to worry more about maybe who you have on the outside?
Well, we feel like we've added some receivers, no doubt. But like I said, we lost some good receivers too. We lost Cooper, we lost Jordy Nelson and Seth Roberts. We lost all our receivers. So we got a lot of work to do still to find our identity. What personnel grouping is going to be best for us? Is it 3 receivers? Is it 2 receivers? Is it 1 back or 2 backs or no backs? That's why we practiced a lot of different formations and plays throughout the last few months. And I'm excited about all our personnel groupings, honestly.
What have been your impressions so far of Incognito at left guard?
Pretty good. Yep. I like him. He's Pro Bowl left guard. Last time he strapped it on, he wasn't good. He was one of the best. And we need to solidify that position. That was a sore spot last year. We played 4 different left guards, and it hurt us, and we had injuries, and we had more injuries, and we had some more. So hopefully Richie finds his stride here like he had a couple years ago, because when he's right, he's one of the best in football.
There was some question about him after Buffalo, whether or not he wanted to continue to play in football. I mean, Where are you in terms of his mental standpoint, wanting to stay in the game of football? How committed he is?
I'm spent a lot of time talking with Richie. You know, this is not a far-fetched comeback that he's trying to make. This is something he's thought a lot about. He walked away from the game for very good reasons. I'm not going to get into that. But we like where he is. We like what he's done. And we like the potential of what he can be.
Coach, this offseason, the NFL made a big push when it came to mental health. They have this new program. Do you think that I'm not speaking with Richie about Richie specifically, but in general, that could have helped some guys along the way that they have in place
we
now?
take a lot of pride in that as well. The mental health, the physical health of all of our players and employees. And, you know, not everybody's the same. Some people obviously have matters that need some help. And a lot of this is stuff I'm not going to talk about here. Everybody has, all of us have our own issues, and we take a lot of pride in servicing our players and whatever their needs may be, and that we'll continue to do.
How do you see Daryl Worley mature in the last year?
You know, I like Worley. Worley, his shoulder popped out of socket. I can still see Worley on the sideline trying to knock his shoulder back into place and keep playing. He's a tough guy. He's also had some adversity in his career, but I got a lot of respect for the way a man can get up off the ground and dust himself off, given another opportunity, and that's what Incognito's doing, and that's what Worley's doing, and that's what the Raiders are here to help them do.
You talked about just a second ago about Worley popping his shoulder back in, and we saw the thing with Durant last night. You coach a sport where every week you've got to make decisions on whether guys can play or not. It's got to be somewhat up to the player, to the team. How do you sort through all that and decide who can play and who can't?
Well, that's what your training staff is for. You know, we have a great training staff, great strength staff, and obviously the player's input is big in this. We're going to try to do right by the player whenever possible. And it's just terrible what happened to Durant last night. Credit to him, though, for giving it his all and laying it on the line. I mean, I can't compliment that guy enough and wish him the very, very best. There is a lot of bad things that happen in sports, but we try to use all the expertise that we can and always make the best decision possible with the player in mind.
There's been contact earlier this offseason, I think it was when it started, between you and Sean McVay regarding the possibility of joint practices. Is that happening in Napa this August?
Yeah, I talked to McVay, I think it's 4 o'clock in the morning. Sean and I talk a lot at about 4 a.m. We are considering working against the Rams prior to the first preseason game. Nothing is 100% finalized yet, but if possible, that certainly I think might benefit both of us, but we're in the final stages of trying to work something out.
Obviously, we talked earlier this offseason about Carl Joseph's fifth-year option not being picked up, and you had said that doesn't necessarily mean anything as far as whether you want him to be part of the long-term future. How has he responded to that whole thing?
Pretty good. Yeah, he's responded good. He's had all the rookies over at his house. He's quietly become a leader here on this team. And you already mentioned Rodney Hudson in his last year. I heard Burfict is in a one-year deal. You know, I just hope I live one more year. You know, quite honestly, we're trying to worry about this team this week. We got a lot of adversity we're facing right now with this team. We got a lot of distractions. I think we're playing in 3 countries. I think we go about 2 months without a home game. We're in a process of moving, and we're going to try like crazy to keep all of our best players as we head to Las Vegas.
Jon, a lot of regimes don't last through moves. We've seen a lot of franchise relocations. I mean, Jeff Fisher's spoken about this repeatedly, about dealing with a move and not making it as a coaching staff. Is that something that you grapple with, the fact that moving an NFL franchise and surviving it as a regime is so difficult?
Well, we're just assembling our regime, so I hope not. I mean, Mayock just got off the plane. We've hired some really credible, proven, big-time scouts and executives, and we're excited about the future. We also have a great responsibility to finish what has been a great run here in Oakland, and I'm not going to worry about things I can't control.
2 more questions, guys.
We've heard coaches and veterans speak to the IQ of the rookies, specifically first-rounders like Farrell and Jacobs and Abram. How would you analyze or evaluate their integration into their systems accordingly on either side of the ball?
I love it. I mean, I think Mike Mayock has talked about we're looking for foundation players We're looking for players that can come in and make a contribution right away and for a long period of time. And like Foster Moreau has been impressive. Max Crosby has been impressive. Quentin Bell is going to be a hard guy to get rid of. I can't say enough about Farrell and Abram, what they've done for us here in the last month. I think Jacobs is going to be interesting and fun to watch. Who knows, maybe Hard Knocks will come and cover that. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
You want to make the pitch? Jay seems to keep pitching you for Hard Knocks.
I'm not talking to my brother again.
You guys play in Indianapolis before the trip in London. What are your plans as a team in terms of handling the travel, to mitigate the miles?
I probably won't do what I did last year. You know, you try to research it. You know, some people go and try to stay the least amount of time as possible because they want to put the preparation in at home and not be in a foreign country in a different bed for 5 or 6 nights. But I think this year we'll probably go over after that game.
To London.
Go over there and get acclimated to the time zone and get ready for Chicago. But we'll address that here in the next couple months.